Consistently attract soulmate clients. Begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalyn Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spot that activates your soulgasmic business. Enjoy this light language activation as we begin to magnetize and monetize. Welcome, my loves. I'm so honored to have you choose to listen to this show. I am very excited to deliver today's show all about falling in love with yourself. Now, if you do enjoy this episode, please do leave a review. Take a screenshot of this podcast and shout me out on social media so that more people can receive this juicy conversation. On Instagram, it's Bold Sexy Warrior, and Facebook, it's Rosalyn Fung Coaching Bold Sexy Warrior. You know, it would mean the world to me for you to take a few minutes to share and review this, as I would love to spread more love and consciousness to the collective. Also, I am so excited to let you know that I'll be running my free 5-day Client Attraction Challenge February 8th to 12th. This is for you if you're a heart-driven coach, healer, practitioner, or light worker desiring to organically attract your soulmate clients with ease, fun, and flow by leveraging social media. I'm going to help you take the shame out of self-promotion and feeling salesy, and help you market yourself with confidence and authenticity in this 5-day challenge. You can go to www.7, as in the number 7, figureconfidence.com/challenge, or check out my links on my feeds. Now, on to today's episode. Let me ask you this, love. Do you struggle with perfectionism, self-criticism, self-doubt, imposture syndrome, or even people-pleasing? Do you struggle with setting healthy boundaries? Maybe you even find yourself in some sort of drama when it comes to relationships, whether that's in your romantic relationship or your friendships or even at work. This idea of discovering connection with yourself on a deeper level tug at your heartstrings. You're feeling really interested and curious about it. Well, I have my special guest and one of my soulmate clients and friends, Lisa Beck, here with us today in this juicy container. She is a self-love empowerment coach, author, and speaker. Lisa also has a background as a corrective exercise specialist. She has a passion for understanding and learning how the human body moves and how the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual all tie together. Lisa's first book, An Infinite Love, Your Journey Toward Happiness, Connection, and Loving Yourself the Most, explores the idea that we must learn to love ourselves unconditionally in order to heal ourselves and fall in love with our life. Lisa helps busy, career-driven women find balance and rediscover their inner greatness by falling back in love with themselves. When she's taking time to fulfill her soul, you will find Lisa writing, traveling, golfing, working on self-development, playing with her niece and nephew, and loving on her dog, Daks, who's so cute. You guys will see Daks on social media on Lisa's feeds. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you, Roz. What a pleasure to be here today.
Oh, so excited to have you here, love. So yeah. I would love to have you share with our audience how your own story and how you got to be who you are today, this incredible, full of life woman. I just love your energy, and I know the audience is going to as well. how you came to be who you are today and do what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm so excited to share. I have always been a happy, positive child. Even like as a young girl, just like always optimistic. I remember being a young girl and my girlfriend would get together and I would always be like, "You guys, let's write down one thing we love about each other and what we really love about us." And they would look at me and be like, "What? Why would we do that? You're crazy."
Why were we not friends back then?
Yeah, I know. And so I always just like had this thing in me around the concept of love and what it means to love who you are and showing our love for other people. And in high school, I was voted most school spirit. And if you are one of my friends, like that would not shock you at all. It was a shock to me, but it would not shock you. I'm just like this vivacious, vibrant, energetic person. And now I can say I wholeheartedly embrace that, but it wasn't always like that. It was like that on the outside, but not on the inside. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. And I was happy on the outside, but inside was just searching for what am I supposed to do with my life? Like, what does this mean? Like, I'm always giving. And I had a really hard time saying no and receiving and diving deeper into why. And it was in my mid-30s when I just started to really explore this whole concept around the idea of self-love and what it means and what does it mean to embrace who you truly are authentically and build these deep connections with people and recognizing what does it mean to be internally happy with yourself and happy with your life instead of looking for external validation and validation from other people, places, situations. And so it's been kind of my whole midlife of like trying to find this balance of what does this look like in my life. And I'm so excited that I feel like I've finally found my true calling and my true path. And this is what I speak to in my group coaching and working with my clients one-on-one or in groups is really this idea of building unconditional love for yourself and what that practice looks like.
Wow. And Lisa, if you could share a little bit more about, what was that turning point for you where you just on the outside, and I can so relate with this, and I imagine that those that are listening right now, a lot of them can also relate with it. Like things look so perfect, so happy, like fulfilling from the outside, but inside there's something that feels like that's missing. And what was it for you?
Yes, you hit that on the head. Something was missing. And I just remember having a conversation with a girlfriend one day and she's like, "Oh, who are you dating?" And I was like, dating? That was the last thing on my mind at that point because I wasn't in love with who I was. And I was in this continual search for what made me happy, but nothing was making me happy. And I was working and getting accolades in my career, and I was traveling, and I was investing in my retirement, and I was doing all the proverbial things, like checking off all the boxes, but it wasn't fulfilling for me. And it was just this time in my life where I just was like, I am not happy. Nothing externally is making me fulfilled. This lack of fulfillment. And I can't really, and looking back, it's over the years, it's little things that really stood out to me. Like when my sister graduated from college, I had a panic attack because I just had this idea in mind that I was the older child and I was the one that was supposed to succeed first. And I was the one that was supposed to graduate and then get married and have the children and, up the proverbial ladder. And then when little instances like that weren't happening, I panicked and I broke down, and I really had to get to the core and my foundation and ask myself, what is it that I want? What is it that makes me truly happy?
Wow. Wow. And so that was really that turning point. What particular pieces supported you in looking internally? Did you have peers who were also doing that, or mentors at that point in time? Like, what shifted it, or was it like a book you came across?
It's a great question. I really kind of was on this journey by myself. So it was my own inquisitive nature of, slowly the universe putting nibbles in front of my face. I have always been one that has loved the challenge and loved to grow personally and professionally. And so it started with me recognizing, okay, I am not happy, and recognizing that happiness is a choice. And so by staying stuck where I am, I'm staying stuck in fear, and I'm not choosing happiness. And so by me verbally committing to myself that I want to be happy and I want to choose happiness, then I can move forward from that position and say, what does that look like? And then I started reading self-development books and attending leadership courses. And then as soon as I did that, opportunities and mentors and the right people and things started falling into my lap. So it was just me saying, I choose myself, I choose happiness, and then following the breadcrumbs that the universe just kind of slowly put into my lap.
Wow. I love how you really broke that down, because as people are listening, I imagine that we're all at different levels in our journey of self-love. And for some of us, it just might be that beginning, and you may be able to relate with Lisa right now to go, oh, okay, that might be where I start to lean into, is to find mentors or join leadership or group coaching. And you guys, Lisa's got an incredible one, by the way, which we will get more into. But just like what I'm really hearing is immersing yourself in the context of supporting your journey towards coming home to yourself, towards loving yourself more, towards discovering you again in your relationship with yourself.
Absolutely. And I think the fear that holds us back is a lack of belief in ourselves. And so often something comes up and we just immediately shut the door because we're afraid. This fear creeps in. But my challenge is to all of us, to our listeners, is to stay curious. And instead of, when the what ifs come up, instead of saying, what if, but oh no, I can't do it. What if, but oh no, I don't have the time. What if, instead of saying that what if, but, wonder if we say what if and. What if I invest in myself and I rediscover a new passion? What if I join a group coaching program and I meet a container of women who are going through the exact same program as me? What if I lean in and learn to love myself a little bit more? What does that look like? What does that feel like in your life? Who would you become? So that's what I did, is I just stayed curious to what was arriving in front of me.
Okay, I just want to highlight that. That is such a huge wisdom bomb right there. Asking ourselves, what if? And instead of saying but, say and. Oh, that changes the whole trajectory of our thinking. We're thinking bigger in that sense. We're thinking more expansively. I can even feel the energy differently. And I loved how you gave the examples. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really staying in the present moment and then focusing on the future. And that's really huge.
Yes, and that was a big one for me. That was how I pushed forward, was just that what if and welcoming that and instead of slamming that door shut out of fear.
And Lisa, I'm really curious, what did your life on the outside look like at this point in time when you were starting your self-love journey and coming home to yourself and joining these different self-development courses? What was happening on the outside of your life? Did it look different, or did it look like as you were shifting internally, or did it look quite the same for a while?
Yeah, it looked different. It looked scary because I came through all these realizations that, wow, I needed to make some changes, and I needed to let people, things, opportunities go that weren't serving me to where I wanted to go. And so that big realization was pretty scary when you realize you're not fulfilled and you need to move forward, but you're not quite sure how. So it was a scary, scary time in my life, because now you're at the taking action point, and that can be big scary. But for me, it helped to break it down into smaller bite-sized pieces and know that trust in myself and in the bigger picture of where I wanted to be and how I wanted to feel, and then take small actionable steps at that time. And that's what I've based my whole program on, my whole group coaching and one-on-one coaching on, is that taking those small individual action steps to get us to feel and believe in where we want to go.
Oh, girl, like I really love all of what you shared. And I feel like there's going to be so many people who are resonating with the part around, my life does look like it's falling apart as I'm stepping outside my comfort zone. Like everything that I've known up until this point is kind of shaky or really shaky. And so after commercial, I'd actually really like for us to jam a little bit further into this piece so that we could support those who are really stepping outside the comfort zone to know and to feel into that trust.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Life is a flow, and enlightenment is simply harmonizing with the way life really is. Then you find that life is effortless, benevolent, and free of all suffering. Hey everyone, this is GP Walsh, and I want to invite you to my brand new radio show that's launching right here on OMTimes Radio called The Flow of Enlightenment. I've been a spiritual teacher for decades, and my greatest pleasure is being able to share with you these deep and highly practical spiritual ideas. So join me in The Flow every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern and let yourself be transformed.
I'm so not good enough. Fail. They'll judge me. I'm afraid others it's are already doing been done.
Who are you not to fully express who you are, to be your warrior of light and do business from your fierce, aligned energy? I'm Rosalyn Fung, host of Activate Your Soulgasmic Business here on OMTimes Radio. Let's get your business turned on to the next level. I invite you to hop on a business soul alignment discovery call with me at rosalynfung.com and let's monetize in your soul mission. Go to ROSALYN F as in fun, UNG.com.
These are the sounds of a dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America. 200 food banks strong.
Welcome back, loves. So we want to dive in a little deeper because I truly believe this part of the conversation with Lisa around stepping outside of our comfort zones, and when we are changing how we go into relationship with ourselves, all of a sudden we start to show up differently, and the things that are in our life feel misaligned. They no longer feel aligned, and that can be a really scary place. So what that could look like is you're recognizing that there's certain friendships you don't find fulfilling anymore because you're on this path of evolving and they're just in a different place. The level of consciousness is changing. And sometimes those relationships could be your romantic relationship or even your family relationship. So it looks a little bit like drama or chaos or tension, some sense of conflicts. So Lisa, can you speak a little bit more into maybe some other examples or what you see with your clients, and just let's maybe break it down a little bit more so that we can have this conversation and support those who are really in this scary place right now to know that they are on track.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to, Rosalyn. Thank you. And you are exactly right when you kind of up level to this new place of being, you quickly recognize what is and is not serving you. And one place I want to have people is check in with themselves and have a little discernment around the people in your life and check in and see, am I feeling uncomfortable because this is not for my higher good? Or are these people, situations, are they pushing me a little bit outside of my comfort zone to help me grow for my higher good? So that's just one little tip, but a lot of times when you recognize that some person or relationship is not serving you anymore, it can be scary and hard to let that go. And one tip I have is really recognizing who is your tribe, who is your support group that already loves you unconditionally and is not attached. So they can be there to support you, but also give you a little tough love when you need it, also have compassion for you and are able to listen and not project their own fears or agenda onto you. So that is one aspect that will really help you as you walk this path of empowerment. And then another aspect when dealing with toxic people or relationships is really standing firm in your boundaries that feel right for you and learning the ability to say no because you value yourself more. And that's what we really work on with a lot of my clients is our value. How do I value myself and how can I place myself in a place of empowerment to move forward? And when you're letting these people go and these situations or jobs, it's releasing them with love and knowing that you guys just are not a vibrational match anymore. And maybe they didn't do anything wrong and they're not a bad person, but they are also walking their own path. And sometimes your paths need to separate a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, you just said a whole lot of incredible wisdom bombs, and I'd love to actually have some real life examples, and I'm happy to personally share with this. So I will. Let's start with the try piece, because I know that as people are listening, there's probably a lot of people who are like, where do you even start to find a tribe like that? And how do I even get connected? So what I want to say to that is, hello, Lisa and I are here for you guys.
Absolutely.
Lisa has her powerful group coaching program. I also have Soulful Social Community for sisterhood. And these are exactly that. It's like-minded, loving beings coming together to support each other for the common goal. And for Lisa, it's self-love. Now, I remember, so I had this friendship for, oh gosh, a really long time. Like, she was my best friend for a long time. And my friend she's much more, we'll say, in the masculine energy, and much more in a scientific, masculine dominated profession. And this happened only like 2.5 years ago, so not that long. But we had been best friends since I was in my 20s, mid-20s, and really close. But as life continued and as I continued to evolve, especially spiritually, and opening up my psychic abilities and connecting more with divine, unfortunately, that was what shifted things in our friendship. Is I noticed we didn't have as much in common. One thing that we loved together was fitness and working out. But as I grew, I recognized that the conversations, and I think we both did, just weren't feeling as aligned anymore energetically with what felt fulfilling for each of us. And so, unfortunately, and, I would say fortunately, because really we're saying yes to ourselves and no to what no longer serves or supports us. And so we really had to let each other go. And it didn't happen in a formal way. It unfortunately happened in a way where I had tried to reach out and by phone and got multiple times and got no responses. And so that's my answer. Like, at what point, and I'm speaking about this because how many of us continue to pursue and in that energy of like trying to get some sort of closure, but it has come from the other person in our mind. And so I decided, okay, well, I'm at peace with myself because I did everything I could do in my control, which was to attempt to have a conversation. And I can't control what the other person does on the other end. So I had to come to through my own process to find some sense of closure with this person. And it's hard when it's like someone who you saw as your best friend, not respond.
Absolutely.
And it's hard not to take it personally. But I also had to look at it from more of an objective perspective and see that this person also really withdrew from other people in the circle of friends. So I recognize that, okay, they are going through their own process and they're stuck in their own belief system that may be preventing them from being able to just have that conversation or conversations to really check in to see what's going on. Because the other side of that could have been, had we had a conversation, that could have looked really differently and we could still be friends today. Who knows, right? And what's important is that we don't hang on to that because that's energy and it can be draining. It's not life-giving. It's not moving forward ourselves in life. So I wanted to share that just so that people could have like a real life example. And it was hard, you guys. Like, I'm actually surprised I'm not crying about it. But I also feel like I've done a lot of processing. And, I still send this person so much love. I think of this person. And to be honest, I don't miss the person. I really don't. Just because the last year or so, it was really apparent to me that we were really not aligned anymore. So
yeah,
that's
thank
a
you for
story I want to
sharing that,
share.
Rosalyn. That was amazing, and I feel that. And in my own life, I've had two incidences that really speak to my heart. Is I had to let go of a career path that I had invested all my time and in my energy and resources and my future in. And that, although not a person, I still had a relationship with the idea around who I was in this career. And so walking away from that and starting on a new path of entrepreneurship and building my coaching business was very hard to let go, because we don't just have attachments to people, but we have attachments to beliefs and ideas of who we think we should be, or who we were. And so that was really hard for me. And then it was also when I decided that I choose happiness for my life. I was actually dating someone at the time, and it was like this huge aha moment of, whoa, you've got to go. Like, I love you. You have done nothing wrong. However, I'm choosing to love myself. And right now we are on two separate paths on that journey. And when you choose to love yourself unconditionally, your compassion for yourself and for others grows exponentially. And that's one focus that I really try and highlight with my clients, is this idea of self-care and self-compassion, because it vibrates so deeply into the collective when you focus on yourself. And we're able to step back and see a bigger picture, like you had mentioned, see that this other person is on their own journey and they need to go through their journey at their own pace and at their own speed and time. And their lessons may be completely different than the lessons that you came here to learn.
Yes. Oh, so much. And, I want to tie this back in. It took us going into relationship with ourselves to know that we are really betting on ourselves, weren't we, Lisa? Like, and we continue to. It's like, you need to be willing to bet on yourself. And there may be people who will as well, but there's nobody who is going to bet on yourself as much as you will. That self-belief, that conviction that you are here to live in your purpose. You were created for a specific mission here on this earth. And when we get really aligned with that, then we start to show up for ourselves. We start to trust ourselves. We believe in ourselves. We have that, what you just said, compassion. And really, we want to look at it, boundaries, right? That's such a huge theme. And it's something that I feel like every time we are evolving and stretching outside of our comfort zone, that's going to come up, whether it's energetic boundaries, emotional boundaries, mental boundaries, and physical boundaries, that we recognize what we allow, what's happening in our life. We are allowing, even if it's not something we want. This is where we need to take personal and spiritual accountability. It's like, oh shit, this is still happening in my life. Because some part of me is allowing it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right?
I tell all my clients that people treat us how we allow them to treat us. And so if you don't want to be treated this way, then that's when a boundary needs to come in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, that's so huge. And just this applies to the examples that Lisa and I were talking about. So those of you who are listening and you're recognizing that there's certain relationships, no matter how much you love them, no matter how much you care about them, sometimes they are not good for you. We can think about some of that could be like twin flame energy, and recognizing that there's soul contracts and that people come into our lives certain seasons, certain reasons, and we really need to look at what are those lessons. What's a lesson? What's a soul lesson for you right now? And often, I'm going to boldly say it, it's boundaries. And going and choosing ourselves. Choosing ourselves above all. Which I bet, Lisa, a lot of people cringe on. They're like, shit, isn't that greedy? Isn't that selfish? Because so many of us are taught that's narcissistic.
Absolutely. And that is funny that you mentioned that, because that is one of the biggest things that always comes up with my clients and in my coaching is this guilt and shame for taking care of ourselves, for spending time on ourselves. And I think especially as women, we are natural nurturers, and we give and we give and we give. And if you're like myself, I love to give. It brings me so much joy in my heart to help and give to other people. However, I had zero boundaries around my giving. And so I was not receiving anything in return. And my bucket was completely empty. And I love the phrase, taking care of me is taking care of we. Because if you spend the time taking care of yourself, really investing in your own self-care, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you are building the most solid foundation for yourself. And when you are solid, I envision like an evergreen tree. Their roots are so implanted into the earth, and the trees are so solid, their trunks are unbreakable, but yet the top of the tree is able to be fluid and handle any storm that comes through without breaking. It's able to handle the weight of the snow that comes onto its branches and not break. So that is what taking care of yourself is. You're able to weather whatever storm comes up in your life, whether it be with your friends, in your family, in your career, because you've invested in yourself and you've built such a solid foundation in who you are.
Breathing that in, everybody. Just letting yourself breathe that in, feeling into the evergreen tree that you are, feeling so solid. And I'm going to invite you as we go into commercial to just keep feeling into the solidness of you.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
The United States has the highest rate of incarceration in the world. At the Equal Justice Initiative, we believe mass incarceration has to end. There is this presumption of dangerousness and guilt that gets assigned to Black and brown people. We have to confront our history of racial injustice and commit to a new era of truth. There's something better waiting for us, something that feels more like freedom. Truth can inspire change. Please learn more at EJI.org.
All right, welcome back, love. So, Lisa, I would love for the audience to really, I think like there's going to be people who are right now really identifying with some of the themes that we're talking about. So, can you shed some light on who exactly you know comes to you? What are their biggest struggles before they work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. So my clients, a lot of them, they are busy moms. They're busy working. And again, as we've reiterated over this conversation, they're giving, 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 and they really want to give to themselves. They know they should give to themselves, but they don't know how. And they're surrounded with this shame and guilt in doing so. And then it's a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so when we come together, we recognize, and one of the pillars that we work on is called living in balance. And that's really awakening to the idea of energy management. Where do we put our energy throughout the day? And is it draining or is it uplifting? And that can be anywhere from tasks you do around the house, tasks you do with your children, or even specific tasks you do in your career. And once we have figured that out, then we get to work on our mindset and how can we change this mindset around where our energy goes? How can we communicate instead of I have to do the laundry and the dishes, I get to do the laundry and the dishes. And switching neurologically in our brain, something that has a negative effect to something that has more of a positive effect. And then we look at why we are making the choices that we do. So my clients recognize the struggles that they have, and now they understand the why behind that, the feelings behind it, and where it stems from, because a lot of times it's something so far back in our subconscious, we don't even know that we are making conscious choices because of unconscious beliefs. And so it's taking those unconscious beliefs, bringing them to the surface, and then moving forward in a new mindset, in a new belief. And then the last pillar that we work on is bravely showing up, so igniting our life. So what does it feel like to really live your purpose, to really follow your passion, to really love who you are, and embrace all of your uniqueness and your gifts, because we were all put on this earth to be uniquely ourselves and to share that uniqueness with the world.
So I really want you to all breathe that in. Like, that is so powerful what you walk your soulmate clients through. And what are some of the transformations that you could share with others right now that happens for these beautiful souls you work with?
Yes, these beautiful, beautiful humans. What I've seen when we've worked together are promotions in their job because they believe in themselves and they're not afraid to empower themselves and reach for something they thought was completely unreachable. I've seen some of my clients have the courage to use their voice and speak up in their careers and have these conversations and feel so empowered in creating their own unique positions. I've seen some of my clients in their own relationships recognize where they've gone wrong and how they want to move forward in their future relationships and creating these deep, deep, intimate connections with people, whether it be romantically or platonically. And they create these lives that are just so abundantly happy. They just call me and they're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this happened today. I just am so happy, so happy, so happy. And that's what I hear all the time is this fulfillment in their life in all areas, because your energy expands exponentially into all areas. It's not just going to be career. It's not just going to be friendship. It's going to expand in all areas of your life. I had a client just reach out to me and said, oh my gosh, everyone keeps telling me that I'm so happy and they want part of my happiness. And it's because through my coaching programs and working together with this beautiful soul that I didn't do anything. All I did was show her the actual person that is inside of herself. And then she took it from there. So I'm just a catalyst, igniting people into their true authentic self by helping them recognize the gifts and the greatness that they've always held inside of them.
That is so powerful. Thank you so much for the work that you do, Lisa. You're just such an incredible soul, right on point with your soul mission.
And it's also reminding people, I hate to interrupt you, it's also reminding people, like, this is a practice just like anyone else. So myself, this is my career chosen destiny path, continual to have hiccups and relearn lessons continually. But I just keep showing up for myself day after day. So it's, again, having that grace and compassion for yourself to realize that this is a lifelong process. I think we are always continually learning. And I mean, how boring would life be if we just mastered everything right off the bat?
Yeah. Well, and Lisa, I must say, you're not just somebody who just talks. You literally walk your walk. You are my client, and you are like literally walking your walk all the time. You're always so open for feedback. And when things are not going exactly how, you had hopes or expected, you literally just take accountability for that piece and be like, you're so grateful. You're like, thank you. There's a lesson. I totally get it. I can't. And you're excited about tweaking it. You literally are my soulmate client, because that's seriously how this works. And when we are so open and so grateful and just being so, I want to say at the micro level, just really literally on a cellular level, you've embodied this gratitude, this openness, and this depth of taking personal and spiritual accountability. Everything shifts right in that moment energetically. And it's just like do you even have a defensive bone in your body? You literally practice falling. You are in love with yourself in such a beautiful way that is so expansive. And
thank you. I appreciate that so much.
You really do walk your talk. And I just want to say that your clients are so blessed to work with you. So my loves, those of you who are listening, as you know, this is the time in our show where we are going to deliver a guided meditation and light language activation. And so this one is going to be all around the theme of course, falling in love with yourself. And so I'm going to invite you to start to take yourself inward. You can keep a soft gaze or close your eyes, and then just breathing in, inhaling into your heart space. Breathing in so that your breath connects with the front of your heart and the back of your heart. Taking your time, letting this breath expand your side body, and seeing this beautiful heart right in your body that your breath starts to create. And then breathing out anything that doesn't serve or support. Letting all of it go, noticing what needs to be let go, what energy, what heaviness, what is draining you, who is draining you. Just imagine all of these things just floating away out of your energy field. And then on your next inhale, just like you are a tree, your feet are the roots, this evergreen tree that's so solid, allow Mother Earth loving energy, her warmth, come through into your roots, breathing in this beautiful unconditional love. You are so held, you are so supported by her. Breathing in So you start to drink with your breath, her beautiful energy moving up your legs, touching your knees, into your thighs and your hamstrings, your hips. And their beautiful energy entering through your perineum right into your root chakra. Breathing in this beautiful 4-petal red lotus flower of safety, of grounding, of anchoring. And then breathing this in. It is safe to love yourself. It is safe to love yourself fully, expansively, completely, and unconditionally. Breathing that in, and then breathing through any resistance that shows up. Now moving your breath from this root right into your solar plex, which is where you're just below your belly, your womb energy space, birthing. This birthing energy, this creative energy, this sexual, sensual fire energy. Breathing in this beautiful orange lotus of your sacral chakra. It is safe for you to birth your ideas. It is safe for you to be putting your creative ideas out into the world. It is safe for you to be sensual as sexual. And yes, there may be some resistance coming up, so just let that be there. Breathe through with your breath to soften the resistance. That just means there's more medicine. That's where your medicine is, and that's where you need to lean into. And then breathing into your heart space. You are love. You are love. Breathing this beautiful love energy right through you, through the core. Still intertwining Mother Earth energy with you. And then breathing right into your throat. This is your voice. It is your birthright to speak your truth. It is safe for you to set boundaries with your voice. It is safe for you to say no. It is safe for you to say yes from an empowered place. Breathing this in. And then connecting with your third eye, which is right between your eyes and your forehead. Opening your intuition. It is safe for you to listen to your intuition. And then opening your crown chakra, allowing divine light to come through. Connecting with your soul essence. It is safe for you to love yourself. It is safe for you to fall in love with yourself. Pura kira tu kura tia, pura kura ti kira tu, kura ti kira tu kura tia. Mora kira tu kura ti kira tu kara tura kura ti a kura ti kara ti, clearing anything in the way of your path of self-love. Pura kira ti kira tu, mora kara ti kira tu kura tia. Breathing this in, aligning, balancing, kora ti kira tu kora chua, kira tu kora ti, activating self-love. Bora kara ti kira tu kora ti kia, anchoring it in now, anchoring, kara ti kira tu kora tia. Breathing in, and then breathing out. Beautiful, just hanging with the sensations. And then last few moments here, I just really want to invite you to tune in. Lisa, how can the people get connected with you? Please tell us about your upcoming program.
Yes. First of all, thank you so much for that meditation, Roz. I just have tingles throughout my entire body. So beautiful. I do have a 12-week group coaching mastermind program coming up, launching on Sunday, and love for anyone who feels called to join. And people can find me, easiest way is on social. So Facebook, it's Lisa Beck and Infinite Love, all one word. And then on Instagram, it's Lisa_and Infinite Love.
Beautiful. And yes, it will be in the show notes as well. You can check out her social for all the information on her group coaching program or working one-on-one with Lisa. I really invite you guys to connect with her. She is incredible. Thank you so much, love, for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.